It's me, Nancy, today. Well, I'm going to Connecticut. Yes, I'm going to pick up Mary's car. I'm going to leave my car there. I'm going to go to Georgia, go to my 35th anniversary reunion thing. And that's all about the WikiLeaks. Have you heard about WikiLeaks? It's probably a Wikipedia thing. Anyway, WikiLeaks has 90,000 or something pages of leaked documents about the war in Afghanistan. Anyway, it's not looking good.
Bradley was born in New York.
You want to walk along? I mean,
he may feel like more of a familiar face.
I'll put you over here. You can listen to the news with me, okay?
Disaster in the Gulf of Mexico. At times, he seemed to be playing down the severity of the event. Despite this, Hayward has a new job with BP and will still receive a pension worth nearly $1 million a year. The company's chairman, Carl-Henrik Svanberg, is...
You've got your booster seat on. You don't need your booster seat on in your car. You can just sit on the dashboard. You can sit here beside Nuvi Garmin. See, she's like you. She's a little computer.
This morning, BP also...
I know you're not really a computer. Got your ID in.
Worst loss in the company's history. The oil giant says it's partly because it's setting aside more than $30 billion to cover the cost of cleaning up the Gulf. This morning in Ottawa, Tony Clement will take the hot seat. The industry minister will answer to a parliamentary committee about his controversial decision to scrap the mandatory long-form census. MPs will also hear from Canada's former chief statistician, Peter Shea.
We're listening to CBC Radio.
As the CBC's Alison Crawford reports, politicians have interrupted the summer barbecue circuit to deal with the census backlash.
Few could have predicted the census, of all things, would be a hot enough issue to lure MPs back to Ottawa in the middle of the summer. But Don Drummond is pleased he'll have the chance to testify today. He's a member of the National Statistics Council, a government-appointed advisory group. Drummond says making the long-form census voluntary will skew results.
There'll be a dramatic underrepresentation of recent immigrants, First Nations communities, the poorest, and the wealthiest. And so there'll be a concentration of a particular sorts of people, and of course that will not then be representative of all of Canada.
Drummond says governments and agencies use census data to allocate money for, among other things, healthcare, transportation, and job training. The Statistics Council is urging the government to restore the mandatory long-form census for next year and hold formal consultations on the survey questions for 2016. Cosmo Howard says he hopes the government takes that advice. The University of Victoria professor studies the relationship between governments and statistical agencies.
It's not constructive for the government to have a very hard line about this that's kind of preset and they're unwilling to change. I think this absolutely needs to be an open public debate.
That debate will be very public when the committee hearing gets underway this morning with testimony from Industry Minister Tony Clement. He has argued the government has no business strong-arming Canadians into filling out a survey that some feel is intrusive. Alison Crawford, CBC News, Ottawa.
At first, it may not sound like a serious problem, but towns and cities in British Columbia are grappling with what to do about aggressive deer. Some have become so used to living amongst people, they refuse to leave, and they're not afraid to fight. Bob Keating has that story.
In the quaint mountain town of Kimberley, some deer are so habituated they understand a red light means it's safe to cross the street. The deer have almost ceased to be wild animals, but they can still be dangerous.
One time they used to run from a dog, now they virtually attack the dog.
Mayor Jim Ogilvie says a lot of people are tired of the deer. Growing a garden is almost impossible without a chain link fence. They're a hazard on the roads, and now there's the aggression.
The deer have become more and more accustomed to people, and they're getting braver and braver, and there's a lot more confrontations between deer and people.
That became all too apparent in neighboring Cranbrook. A YouTube video of a dog being stomped by a deer while its owner shrieks has it's been seen by over 1 million people. And since then, there have been more attacks on pets and people. Cranbrook Mayor Scott Manjak met with government biologists yesterday to look for solutions.
These are deer that have been in Cranbrook for 3-4 years, and so they have absolutely no fear whatsoever.
The BC government just did an exhaustive study of the problem of urban deer. The most effective solution it found is also the most controversial, however. Round up the deer and kill them. One town in southern BC is even considering taking that a step further and selling the meat to tourists. Bob Keating, CBC News, Nelson, British Columbia.
And that's the latest national and international news. For World Report, I'm Martina Fitzgerald. This is CBC News. Hi, I'm Amanda Pfeffer, and welcome back to Ottawa Morning.
The temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, which is 70, I think. I love these purple flowers.
Our bodies in trouble at the Saw Gallery. And coming up after 8 o'clock, meet one of the local photographers featured in that exhibit.
Well, my friend Lisa was wanting to go to that.
Good morning. You're listening to Ottawa Morning, and it's 19 degrees right now in downtown Ottawa, and Rebecca Zandbergen is in from the CBC Ottawa newsroom with some of the stories we're working on this hour.
Amanda, some people in Westboro are without power this morning. Hydro Ottawa says there's a power outage in the area of Churchill Avenue, Island Park Drive, and Iona and Scott Streets. About 80 homeowners are affected. One woman is dead and her sister is in hospital after their car collided with a transport truck yesterday afternoon near Rockland. Environmental Commissioner Gord Miller is expected to issue a special report today on the province's controversial eco-fees. And again, a reminder for people in Rockland that boil water advisory is still in effect today.
Thanks for that, Rebecca Zandbergen. We'll have a full regional report at 8:30. It's 20 degrees now. It's moved up a notch to 20 degrees under sunny skies right now. Winds are light, and the humidity is at 77%. We're expecting a beautiful day today. Sunny skies and the high 30 degrees. The UV index is 8 or very high. The overnight low is also fairly high, 20 degrees. Tomorrow we're expecting increasing cloud during the day, a few showers beginning in the late afternoon, the risk of a thunderstorm late in the afternoon tomorrow, and windy in the high 29. But after that it should cool off a little bit. Thursday we're expecting sunny skies, the high 24, and Friday sunny skies, the high 23. And if we look at the weekend, we're looking at a sunny day on Saturday, the high 25, and Sunday cloudy with a chance of showers and the high 25 degrees. And right now we've got Bill Brown in the studio to talk about today. Good morning.
Good morning, Amanda. I was just going to tell you something that we're chasing, hopefully for today, but it's a story that we're chasing. You may have heard about it. A judge has given potentially thousands of people the right to have a class action suit against the province of Ontario because these people were residents or family members of residents of the Huronia Centre, which goes back to 1876, and in those days it was called the Orillia Asylum for Idiots. Was the terminology used then. It just became a center for people with developmental disabilities, as we say today, but it became apparently just as almost people are using the term dumping ground for anyone with some sort of physical problems or emotional problems, and the stories of abuse have been coming out for years and years and years, and the judge, as I say, has given people the right to a class action suit for allegations of abuse. So this is something that we're going to be chasing for today.
Allegations that took place at this islands, I think, across North America.
Across North America. It's becoming a bit of a familiar story, and I guess that's why maybe the judge agrees that they should have a version of it forward as well. On our phone-ins, we are going to do something that could be a bit of a thorny topic, but we're wondering, we're looking forward to it, and the question we're going to be asking people is, what life lesson did you learn during your first marriage? Yeah, and we have a marriage counselor who is going to be on with us to talk about
Have you been married once before?
This is, I'm still in my first marriage and to stay that way forever. So we're interested to see what kind of
Hello. Well, how's it going over there? How long have we been doing this? Let's see. It is 9:88. So, tell you what I'm bringing, what I'm going to do. This is kind of an unusual thing for me. Well, nothing's unusual for me, is it? Let's start a new video.